أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله يستعينه واستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعصهما فإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدني علما سبحان الله وبحمده سبحان الله العظيم. My dear audiences, my dear friends, brothers, sisters and relatives who are watching through Facebook, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a great pleasure for me to attend this Tafsirul Qur'an Mahfil, and at the very beginning I would like to express my deep gratitude to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given me opportunity to attend this Tafsirul Qur'an Mahfil, and let us say Alhamdulillah, all praises are for Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, in today's Tafsirul Qur'an Mahfil we shall have a discussion on verse number 9 and 10 of Suratut Tagabun. Suratut Tagabun, it is the surah number 64 from the Holy Qur'an, and this surah was revealed upon our beloved Prophet during his prophetic life in Medina. In verse number 9 of this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used the word Tagabun, and for that reason this surah has been named Suratut Tagabun. The word Tagabun means loss and gain, winning and defeating. By using this word Tagabun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has meant the day of judgment, the day of Qiyamah, the day of hereafter. Being a Muslim, we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent us in this world for a limited period, and after expiry of our tenure in this world we shall have to meet death, and after meeting death we shall go to our only creator, Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and after our death Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will revive us in order to take accounts of our activities, what we are doing here, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has turned in this surah the day of judgment as the day of loss and gain, the day of loss and profit, the day of winning and defeating, winning and losing. On the day of judgment, the believers who believed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our only one creator and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have any companion, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have any son, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have any daughter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have wife, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only one, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has neither born and he will neither die. Being a believer, being a Muslim, we shall have to have believe that our only creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is only one. And after our death, one day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will destroy the whole world. Everything will be destroyed. But the existence of only one will remain as it is, and he is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will destroy everything, either the sky or the earth or anything, everything in the world will be destroyed. The existence of only one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will remain as it is. And after our death, on the day of resurrection, on the day of denunciation, on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will revive us in order to take accounts of our activities, what we are doing here. So at first, as usual, we shall have recitation and meaning of verse number 9 and 10 of Suratut Tagabun, and then inshallah we shall go to the elaborate discussion of this surah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يوم يجمعكم ليوم الجمع ذلك يوم التغابن ومن يؤمن بالله ويعمل صالحا يكفر عنه سيئاته ويدخله جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا ذلك الفوز العظيم والذين كفروا وكذبوا بآياتنا أولئك أصحاب النار خالدين فيها وبئس المصير صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين سبحان الله وبحمده سبحان الله العظيم اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك. I seek shelter, I seek refuge to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I seek shelter to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the devil, from the Iblis shaitan, and I am beginning with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is most merciful, most beneficent. يوم يجمعكم ليوم الجمع ذلك يوم التغابن. On the day when you will be assembled, you will be get together, and the day is called the day of loss and gain. وَمَنْ يُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَيَعْمَلْ صَالِحًا. Those who believe on Tawheed, who believe on Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the only one creator, and as per condition of faith, as per condition of Tawheed, they do good deeds. يُكَفِّرْ عَنْهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive their all sins. وَيُدْخِلْهُ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا. And after forgiving their all sins, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will admit them in the Jannat, in the heaven, in the paradise, under which, beneath which rivers are being flown, and they will reside there, they will dwell there forever. ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ, and that will be the greatest achievement for them. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا, and those who have turned false the verses of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and who associate, partner with Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will be thrown in the hell, in the fire, and they will remain there forever. وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ, how bad, how worst is the hell to live. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said the truth, and His prophets and messengers have also said the truth, and we are among the witnesses. All praises are for Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praises are for Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the greatest. O Allah, bless your Prophet, bless our Prophet and your servant, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this was the recitation as well as meaning of verse number, ayat number 9 and 10 of Suratut Tagabun. As at the time of starting this tafsir, I have already said that this surah has been named as Suratut Tagabun because the word Tagabun has been used in verse number 9 of this surah. And the word Tagabun means loss and gain, winning and defeating. On the day of judgment, the believers will win. The believers on Islam will win. They will be admitted in paradise. And the non-believers, disbelievers of Islam, the rejecter of Islam, the rejectors of Islam, those who are rejecting Islam, they will be defeated. They will be defeated. They will face loss, and they will be thrown in the hell, in the fire. So now we shall go with some relevant verse. Those are relevant in today's tafsir. Other verses, other ayats from the Holy Qur'an, those are relevant in today's tafsir. At first, verse number 48 from Suratul Baqarah is relevant in today's tafsir. Here Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا لَا تَجْزِي نَفْسٌ عَنْ نَفْسٍ شَيْئًا وَلَا يُقْبَلُ مِنْهَا شَفَاعَةٌ وَلَا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْهَا عَدْلٌ وَلَا هُمْ يُنصَرُونَ. Verse number 48, Suratul Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا لَا تَجْزِي نَفْسٌ عَنْ نَفْسٍ شَيْئًا. O people of the world, be afraid of that day when no person will come to help to another person. وَلَا يُقْبَلُ مِنْهَا شَفَاعَةٌ. No recommendation will be accepted. وَلَا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْهَا عَدْلٌ. No exchange will be accepted. وَلَا هُمْ يُنصَرُونَ. And on that day they will not get any helper. On that day no one will come to help you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is warning us to take preparation for that day, for the day of judgment, when no person will come to help anyone, when no recommendation will be accepted, when no exchange will be accepted. So, being a Muslim, being a believer, we shall have to have belief that after our death, we shall be revived by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. on the day of denunciation, on the day of Qiyamah, we will be revived in order to give accounts of our activities we are doing in this world. So this was verse number 48 from Suratul Baqarah, relevant in today's tafsir. Next relevant verse in today's tafsir is verse number 103 from Suratul Hud. In verse number 103, Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Inna fi dhalika la'ayatan liman khafa adhab al-akhirah. ذلك يوم مجمع له الناس وذلك يوم مشهود. إن في ذلك لآية لمن خاف عذاب الآخرة. Those who fear the punishment in the life of hereafter, they have sign in these verses, in these ayats. And they will be on the day of judgment, they will be assembled together. And on that day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will record, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show us the evidences. وَذَلِكَ يَوْمٌ مَشْهُودٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has turned in Suratut Tagabun the day of judgment at the day of Yawmut Tagabun, the day of loss and gain. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has turned the day of judgment as Yawmum Mashhud, the day of showing evidences. On the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show us everything we are doing here, we are hearing here, we are involving in all kinds of activities. Those will be shown in the life of hereafter. And for that reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has turned the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has turned the day of Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has turned the day of denunciation as Yawmum Mashhud, the day of testimony, the day of evidence. Being a Muslim, we shall have to believe that there are two angels in our right and left. They have been called by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Kiraman Katibin, the respected writers. The angel who is writing our good deeds, he is called Kiraman Katibin. And the angels who is on our left side, who is recording our all bad deeds, he has also been termed by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the Kiraman Katibin, the honorable writers. So being a Muslim, we shall have to have belief that our every activities are being recorded. And on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will produce the evidences. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will produce the testimony. And for that reason, the day of judgment, the day of Qiyamah, the day of denunciation has been termed in Holy Qur'an as Yawmum Mashhud, the day of testimony. So this was verse number 103 from Suratul Hud, relevant in today's tafsir. Next relevant verse in today's tafsir is verse number 29 and 30 from Suratul Fatir. Here Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Innal lazina yatluna kitaballahi wa aqamus salata wa anfaqu mimma razaqnahum sirran wa alaniyatan yarjuna tijaratan lan tabur liyuwaffihum ujurahum wa yazidahum min fadlihi innahu ghafurun shakur. Innal lazina yatluna kitab Allah. Obviously, who recite the book of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that means who recite the Holy Qur'an. Wa aqamus salah, and establish regular prayers. Wa anfaqu mimma razaqnahum, and pay zakat and spend money in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Spend money for charity of Islam. How do they spend? Sirra wa alaniyati. They spend money openly and secretly. Yarjun, and they hope, they keep hope that tijaratan lan tabur, that this business will not get any loss. Obviously, whoever after accepting Islam follow the rules and regulations of Holy Quran in their personal life, in their family life, in their social life, in their state life, this business, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has termed this as the business, as the commerce. This business, this commerce will not face any loss. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, liyuwaffiyahum ujurahum wa yazidahum min fadli. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them proper dues, and moreover Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase their reward. Allahu Akbar. Because innahu ghafurun shakur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most forgiver, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most grateful to his servant who are doing good deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to appreciate the good deeds done by his servants. So, being a Muslim, we shall have to remember that what good deeds we are doing, what good deeds are being done by us, these good deeds will not be in vain, inshallah, on the day of judgment, on the day of denunciation, on the day of Qiyamah, on the day of Tagabun, on the day of loss and gain, on the day of Qiyamah, we shall get proper dues. Moreover, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase our dues. Allahu Akbar. So this was verse number 29 and 30 from Suratul Fatir, relevant in today's tafsir. Now inshallah we shall go to verse number 49 and 50 of Suratul Waqiyah. Verse number 49 and 50 Suratul Waqiyah are relevant in today's tafsir. Here Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, قُلْ إِنَّ الْأَوَّلِينَ وَالْآخِرِينَ لَمَجْمُوعُونَ إِلَى مِيقَاتِ يَوْمٍ مَعْلُومٍ. As you know, all the prophets and messengers sent by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to preach three things. Three things are common among all the prophets and messengers. All the prophets and messengers used to spread the teachings of Tawheed, the teachings of Risala, and teachings of Akhirah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will revive all the people of the world who were earlier dead, who are residing here. One day they will face death, and the future generation who will come, everyone will be revived again by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to take accounts of activities of each and every person. And here in verse number 49 and 50 of Suratul Waqiyah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, O Prophet, tell that your earlier generations and the next generation, everyone will be revived on a fixed date, on a fixed time. That means on the day of denunciation, on the day of judgment, on the day of Qiyamah. So this was verse number 49 and 50 of Suratul Waqiyah, relevant in today's tafsir. Now inshallah, we shall go to another relevant verse, verse number 42. Verse number 42 of Suratul Qalam. Verse number 42 of Suratul Qalam is relevant in today's tafsir. Here Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is saying, يَوْمَ يَكْشَفُ عَنْ سَاقٍ وَيُدْعَوْنَ إِلَى السُّجُودِ فَلَا يَسْتَطِعُونَ. On the day of judgment, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will ask the believers, to bow down, to prostrate, to give sajda. And in tafsir of this verse, it has come that those Muslims who used to say regular five times prayer, only that those Muslims will be able to give sajda, to bow down for Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And rest of the people who after accepting Islam does not offer 5 times prayer regularly, they were very much they used to neglect offering prayer. Although they are Muslims, they will not be able to give sajda on the day of judgment. So, being a Muslim, we shall have to remember that on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask us to give sajda, to bow down for Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if in the life of here, if we do not offer 5 times prayer regularly, we shall not be able to give sajda to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, in order to pass in the exam in the life of hereafter, we shall have to establish regular 5 times prayer regularly. Because offering 5 times prayer is mandatory, obligatory to each and every Muslim. Now, relevant verse in today's tafsir is verse number 41 to 46. 41 to 46 of Suratul Muddassir. As I have already said that offering 5 times prayer is mandatory to each and every Muslim. And some Muslims will be thrown in the hell, in the fire. And the guard of the hell will ask them, why you have come here? They will answer. Their answer has been given by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in verse number 41 to 46 of Suratul Muddassir. Suratul Muddassir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Anil mujrimin ma salakakum fi saqar qalu lam naku minal musallin wa lam naku nut'imul miskin wa kunna nakhudu ma'al khaidin wa kunna nukazzibu biyawmiddin. As you know, if an accused is sent in the jail, in the prison, if an accused is sent behind the bar, the other accused who are remaining from earlier asks the new accused, what is your offense? Why you have come behind the bar? Why you have been thrown behind the bar? As the asking to the accused from another accused, whenever a person will be thrown in the hell, in the fire, the guard of hell will ask them, Anil Mujrimin, the accused, Ma salakakum fi saqar, why you have been thrown here? Qalu lam naku minal musallin. The inhabitants of hell will say that we used to do not offer prayer. We are not among those who offers prayer. We are not among those who offer prayers. That means by leaving 5 times prayer is a great sin. And the main reason to be thrown in the hell is to avoid 5 times prayer. وَلَمْ نَكُ نُطْعِمُ الْمِسْكِينَ. And we used to do not give food to the poor person, to the needy person. وَكُنَّ نَخُوضُ مَعَ الْخَائِدِينَ. And we were remained busy in unnecessary talks. وَكُنَّ نُكَذِّبُ بِيَوْمِ الدِّينِ. And we did not believe regarding the life of hereafter. As you know, most of the Muslims, they have been named Abdul Karim, Abdul Rahim, Abdul Basit, but they do not believe the life of hereafter. But they claim they are Muslim. They claim they are Muslims, but they do not believe on the life of hereafter. So, non-believing the day of judgment, non-believing the day of hereafter will be the reason of throwing in the fire, in the hell. Next relevant verse in today's tafsir is verse number 38 from Suratul Mursalat. In verse number 38, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Haza yawmul fasl, jama'nakum wal awwalin. Earlier, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has termed the day of judgment as Yawmut Tagabun. Next, I have already said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has termed the day of judgment as Yawmul Mashhud. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has termed the day of judgment as Yawmul Fasl. The day of judgment has been termed as Yawmul Fasl. Yawmul Fasl means the day of deciding. The non-Muslims do not believe on the life of hereafter. Non-Muslims do not believe regarding the heaven and hell. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that on the day of judgment, I will decide this among them. Jama'nakum wal awwalin. And all the people from first to last will be gathered, will be standing before Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in front of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for that reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has termed the day of judgment, the day of denunciation, the day of hereafter as Yawmul Fasl, the day of taking decision, the day of deciding. What will be the decide? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will decide that the Muslims used to believe regarding the day of judgment, and in fear of standing before me, the Muslims, the Mu'min, used to do good deeds, and the non-believers, being rejecting the day of judgment, they did not do good deeds. They were engaged in committing offenses, in committing sins. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Yawmul Fasl, on the day of decide, I will decide everything, all the questions. Those are being asked by the non-believers in the life of here. Now, relevant verse in today's tafsir is verse number 38 to 40 of Suratul Naba. In Suratul Naba, verse number 38 to 40, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة صفا لا يتكلمون إلا من أذن له الرحمن وقال صوابا ذلك اليوم الحق فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه مآبا إنا أنذرناكم عذابا قريبا يوم ينظر المرء ما قدمت يداه ويقول الكافر يا ليتني كنت ترابا يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة صفا. On the day of judgment, the head of the angels, Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, and all the angels, all the malaika, will remain standing through lines. لا يتكلمون إلا من أذن له الرحمن وقال صوابا. No one will be allowed to speak until and unless who have been given permission. And those who will be given permission, they will speak the right thing. ذَلِكَ الْيَوْمُ الْحَقِّ. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has termed the day of judgment as Yawmul Haqq. Haqq means true. The true day. The day of judgment has been termed by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Yawmul Haqq. The day of judgment will come, of course, absolutely, that the day of judgment will come to you. And whoever wants to have a shelter to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they can have a shelter. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that I am making you careful about the punishment who is very near. And on the day of judgment, when the non-believers will see the punishment, they will say, had I been the soil or earth. That means on the day of judgment, the non-believers will be regretted, but this kind of regret will not come for their help, to their help, because we shall have to regret to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this life. In the life of here, we shall have to offer forgiveness to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we offer forgiveness to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we pray for forgiveness to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the life of here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept our pardon, accept our forgiveness. But on the day of judgment, if we seek forgiveness to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we seek pardon, that pardon will not be accepted. Now, relevant verse in today's tafsir is verse number 41 to verse number 33 to 36. Those are relevant in today's tafsir. As I have already said, on the day of judgment, no one will come to our help. Neither my son, my daughter, my wife will come to help me. Neither my parents will come to help me. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here the same thing. يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ. On the day of judgment, the brother will flee from his brother. The brother will run away from his brother. The parents will run away from their sons and daughters. Wife will run away from husband, and husband will run away from wife. That means on the day of judgment, the surrounding situation will be so dangerous that neither my parents will come to help me, nor my children will come to help me, neither my wife will come to help me. Because on the day of judgment, everyone will remain busy regarding themselves. So, if in this world we face any problem, our relatives, our neighbors, our friends come forward to help us. And at one stage, because of their support, we used to overcome the problems in the life of here. But in the life of hereafter, if we shall face any difficulties, on that day no one will come to help anyone. So we shall have to keep it in our mind that on the day of judgment, we shall have to face the situation by ourselves. And for that reason, we shall have to take preparation. What is the preparation? The first preparation is that we shall have to give declaration that our creator is only one, and He is Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have any partner. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have son. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have daughter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have wife. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not require any help to anyone. He is unique, only one. That means we shall have to believe on Tawheed. Ma Tawheedu. At-Tawheedu imanun bi ilahi wahid. Tawheed means bringing faith on only one creator, and He is Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So our first preparation for the life of hereafter will be to give declaration that Allah is our only one creator. He does not have any partner. Next duty is that our beloved Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last messenger of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And on our beloved Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed this Holy Qur'an. And this Holy Qur'an is the key to get success. We shall lead our personal life, family life, social life, state life, national life on the basis of this Holy Qur'an. And we shall have to belief that one day we shall meet our death. And after our death, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will revive us to take accounts of our activities we are doing here. Only then, inshallah, we shall be able to avoid any kind of problem in the life of hereafter. Now, inshallah, we shall go on some relevant hadiths, utterances of our beloved Prophet regarding those are relevant in today's tafsir. First hadith is an Aisha radhiyallahu anha qalat qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam laysa ahadun yuhasibu illa halak, rawahul Bukhari. Being a Muslim, we shall offer prayer to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to admit us in heaven, in paradise, without giving any accounts. Because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala start to take our accounts, we will not be able to give accounts. And for that reason, this hadith has been narrated by Ummul Mu'minin, our beloved mother, Aisha radiallahu anha, she said that our beloved Prophet has said, Laisa ahadun yuhasibu illa halak. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala start to take accounts of anyone, he will be destroyed. Rawahul Bukhari. So, we shall pray to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to admit us in Jannah, in paradise, in heaven, without taking any accounts by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This will be our first prayer to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Next hadith is relevant in today's tafsir is, we believe on Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one creator. He does not have any companion, he does not have any partner. He does not have son, daughter or wife. But we have not seen Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are bringing iman, faith on Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the basis of this holy book. Through this holy book, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has directed us to bring faith on Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without seeing Him. And if we do good things, good deeds, and if we are succeeded, if we will succeed in the life of hereafter, we will be entered in the Jannah, in the heaven. And in the heaven, the best reward for the inhabitants of paradise will be the look to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because in the heaven, we shall be able to see our beloved, our only one creator. And regarding that, this hadith, An Abi Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu, anna an-nasa qalu ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, hal nara rabbana yawm al-qiyamah, qala hal tumaruna fil qamari laylatul badri laysa dunahu sahabun, qalu la ya Rasulullah, qala fahal tumaruna fi syamsi laysa dunahu suhabun, qalu la, qala fa innakum tarawnahu kazalika yahsharun nasu yawmal qiyamah. Rawahul Bukhari. People ask our beloved Prophet, O our beloved Prophet, whether we shall see our Creator in Jannah. Our beloved Prophet has said, if the day is broad daylight, and if the skies are free from cloud, and if our beloved Prophet has said, do you face any difficulties to watch the moon when the moon is being sighted in the sky? That means on each and every 14th day of the month, the moon is sighted very clearly. Everyone can see the moon on the sky. If on the 14th day of Arabic month, and if on the day of broad daylight the sun is shining, it is not difficult to see the sun. So the inhabitants of paradise, inhabitants of heaven will see their Creator very easily if they are permitted to enter in the Jannah. So, being a Muslim, it is our only one goal, it is our only one purpose to become success in the life of hereafter, to be admitted in heaven, in paradise, in the life of hereafter. And if we are able, by the mercy of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to enter in the heaven, in the paradise, inshallah, we shall we shall be able to have a look on our only one Creator. So being a Muslim, we shall have to take preparation for the life of hereafter. We shall have to do good deeds. Those have been permitted by Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we shall have to restrain from the bad deeds, from those Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to restrain. That means, in order to get success in the life of hereafter, we shall have to implement the rules and regulations of Holy Qur'an in our personal life, in our family life, in our social life, and in our national life, as per our capacity. So inshallah, this was the tafsir on verse number 9 and 10 of Suratut Tagabun. Now inshallah we shall have prayer to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And before offering prayer to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let us recite Durud Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma amin. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وأنثانا اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام ومن توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا رب هب لي من الصالحين اللهم إني أسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. O Allah, we, some of your servants, have been gathered here in this Tafsirul Quran Mahfil. We have discussed from your holy book, the Qur'an. We have made many mistakes. Please forgive our all the mistakes and accept this Tafsirul Quran Mahfil. O Allah, forgive our all sins. O Allah, you know what are the desires in our heart. Please forgive our all desires in our heart. O Allah, increase our sustenance. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.